So today I decided to make a video where I'll be ranking every character's break the target stage from best to worst. And this video isn't going to be a big, this is the easiest, this is the hardest kind of video. It's more of just a favorite to least favorite kind of video. And keep in mind, I haven't played this game since I was a kid, so some of the gameplay video may not be my best performances. Just saying. So, with all that said you guys, let's get it started. So let's start off the video with my number one favorite character and break the target stage, Samus. This character has a lot of ranged attacks, making it a lot easier to reach faraway targets. She can also drop little bombs down below, so any targets below her are easily dealt with. She also has really good jumps and a really good up B attack, which you can use to destroy the targets as well. Basically, this is my number one because Samus was just my personal favorite character to play. Up next, we have Kirby's stage. Now, I didn't really play a lot of Kirby in this game back in the day, but I always thought he was a really cool character, because he could absorb any character and take one of their special abilities. So he's kind of like having a little bit of all the characters in one. On top of that, Kirby can fly in the air, and he can keep floating for a while, which gives him a lot more survivability. Now, Kirby by himself, without anyone else's special powers, has to rely on the basics. Along with his up B, which is pretty cool, it gives you like this little sword attack, which can be useful for taking out different targets as well. His stage itself is one that I really like. Up next we have Yoshi. Now Yoshi's stage can be a little bit tricky, because the character itself doesn't really have a boost to its up B. You press up B on this character, he just throws the egg, which helps Yoshi be able to reach more targets, but it doesn't really help if you need it for survivability. But on this stage, making some trick egg shots is pretty awesome. I really like this one target where you can just break it with your tail if you're close enough, and the other target on the other side, where you can just smash your head through the wall and hit the target. That's hilarious. The only part that might be a little bit tricky for some people is hitting the final target at the end. You kind of have to glide underneath it, and if you don't hit the target in time, you're gonna die. So you just gotta be ready to aim the egg and break that target. Pikachu's stage is another fun one to me. Now back in these days, Pokemon was still a brand new thing, and actually getting to play Pikachu in a game like this was really freaking awesome. Pikachu had these electric attacks where it runs across the floor until it either disappears or hits an object, which is really helpful in the break the target stages. That attack alone covers a lot of ground. Pikachu's stage itself is pretty simple, and basically all you need is your one little electric attack, which reaches the majority of targets that you need. The rest of them you can just run up to and kick or punch. And an awesome way to end this stage is to use Thunderbolt at the end, which takes out 2 targets at once while you're falling to your death. Moving on, we got the main plumber himself, Mario. Now Mario's break the target stage is classic, and in his break the target stage, you break the targets in classic Mario style. Start off by throwing fireballs in a couple of directions and getting a few of the targets right off the bat. Then of course, Mario being the Jumpman himself, you jump up and break a few more targets that are in the air. Now the fireballs are really useful in this break the target stage. There are some targets that try to trick you thinking you have to jump off the stage to hit them, but no, you just shoot a fireball down there and it'll hit it. And the last target in this stage is another one of those do or die targets. You either hit it or you die. So usually I'll just jump down there and press up B, and it'll automatically hit it and I'll win. Reminds me a lot of the Donkey Kong arcade as well, with the red platforms and all. It's a classic stage and I love it. Up next we have Mario's brother, Luigi. Now Luigi is one of the 4 secret characters in this game that you have to unlock, which was really freaking awesome back in the day, to unlock these secret characters, especially Luigi because he was always my brother's favorite character, and he would always play this character as well. But yeah, Luigi's break the target stage is sort of looking like a construction area, mixed with looking like the Mario Brothers arcade classic game. The stage is a little bit more tricky than Mario's. It's got a few more moving platforms, and a few more targets in tight spaces. A lot of them can be gotten with Luigi's fireball attack as well, but the last couple targets can be a little bit more rough if you mess up your jumping. But overall, it's a cool throwback stage, just be careful at the end. Up next, we have Link. And Link's Break the Target stage is really creative. It has you utilizing all the different moves that the character can do, such as being able to reach a target that's a little bit out of the way just by using one of the bombs that you can pull out. You can also use your boomerang to reach some of the targets as well. And of course, using your up B attack, you can easily get some of the targets that you shouldn't be able to get because the attack can hit through the wall, which makes things a lot easier and faster. Up next, we have Ness. Now Ness, I'd never played Earthbound, didn't know who he was when I was a kid playing this game. So this one, just based on that, wasn't really one of my favorite stages. You had to use Ness's up B in order to guide the orb into the target, making a lot of the targets a lot easier to get. So overall, this Break the Target stage really isn't that bad. Fox. It starts off easy enough. You just start off with a few targets sitting around you and you just punch them and kick them. And then you have this moving target along with this moving platform, and you have to carefully time your gun attack in order to hit the target behind it. And it kind of reminds me of a shooting game where you have to shoot a moving target. And the last target on this stage is pretty cool as well. And there's a few different ways you can go about it, but the best way to do it to me is to just walk off the platform and shoot it with your laser gun, finishing Fox's Break the Targets with style. So now we're down to the bottom three. Now Captain Falcon was a character I didn't really play much growing up. This is more of a character that my brother enjoyed playing. I was never really a big fan because he didn't really have that many ranged attacks, which is more of a thing that I looked for in a character. But he does have the iconic Falcon Punch, which is really helpful in his Break the Targets, because you can literally just punch the hell out of these targets in order to beat this stage. But yeah, overall, Captain Falcon's Break the Target stage is one of the easier ones, to be honest, because all the targets are kind of right there together in the same area. But this stage overall is just kind of boring to me, not much really going on with it, so that's kind of why it's a little bit lower on the list in this video. Now Donkey Kong is one that I never really played that much of. I was never really into the bigger, slower characters in Smash Bros, even though they are really powerful. Donkey Kong's Break the Target stage itself is pretty easy. He's got a few moving platforms, but because DK is a heavier character, the platforming can be a little more annoying, simply because when he jumps, he doesn't really jump that far in the air. But overall, this Break the Target stage is a little lower on the list, simply because I never really played this character, and his target stage is simple and basic. So for those reasons, it's my second least favorite Break the Target stage. Now Jigglypuff is basically a lot like Kirby, or she can float around, but her floating isn't as good, so her ability to get to further away platforms is pretty limited. And some of the targets on the stage can be really annoying for newer players to figure out. And I remember when I was a kid, this stage always really annoyed me, because it took me a while to figure out how to get to some of these targets. Like this one way over here, for example, was really freaking annoying. And I just remember getting so pissed at this as a kid. So just for all those frustrating memories, Jigglypuff has to be my #1 least favorite Break the Target stage. Which Break the Target stages were your favorites, or your least favorites? Let me know in the comments section below. Be sure to donate to me on Patreon for more videos. Could really use some more support, you guys, to keep these videos going. And if you choose to donate to me on Patreon, then your name will also appear at the end of every one of my videos. Those that do support me on Patreon, you all mean the world to me. You're awesome. Thank you all for watching. This has been Brandon, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.